Welcome back, guys, to another video of a Resto Druid guide. Now, for this video, I'm going to be showing you the two builds that you can run as a Resto Druid. The first build that you can run is a Healing Touch Spec. Basically, you're able to spam Healing Touch, you're really mana efficient, and the heals you do is absolutely crazy. It pretty much forces the enemy team to go you. If they don't, they're going to struggle to even land a kill onto your teammate. Now, the second build is a more of a, I don't know what to call it, but let's call it the default build. It's pretty much just the normal build that you would run if you didn't go into the Healing Touch Spec build. That's pretty much all it is. Alright, for the Healing Touch Spec build, you're going to want to run into Abundance, Displacer Beast, Guardian, Mighty Bash, Cultivation, Germination, and Stormwalk. The reason why you want to run into Abundance because, again, Healing Touch Spec build kind of revolves around this. Without this talent alone, the build wouldn't work. If you read it, it's pretty OP stats. This is why it forces the enemy team to go you, and you're able to take your teammates up and pop them off real quick. Even yourself, even if they're on you, if you're able to use Displacer Beast, blink around a corner, top yourself off with Abundance using your healing touches, should be really easy. But again, you're gonna struggle to survive running this build. That being said, the Healing Touch Spec build is also the best 2v2 talents that you can possibly run. Now, since someone asked me what my credentials are, who I am, god damn it, I logged on the wrong character. 1 second, let me log on the correct character to show you my experience, because apparently credentials matter in making guides and shit like that. I don't know. Alright, since I logged onto my main druid, let me go ahead and show you my CR and 2s. And as you see, the best rating that we got to was running with a Resto Druid Ret is 2463, and we only did 2 days worth of pushing. If me and my buddy Savix really wanted to push higher, I think we'd be able to push higher kind of easy. And again, I did this all running the Healing Touch Spec build. Nothing else. The Healing Touch Spec build is really strong, again, especially against 2s when dampening is racking up so high. You'll be able to easily out heal the opponent's damage by far, and your mana is going to look tasty. It's going to be like a 90% throughout the whole game. What I can try to recommend is don't go ahead and cast Rejuves to get them onto you, because that does cost a decent amount of mana. The way this build works is, you're mana efficient and you're doing a lot of heals. So for you to keep your rejuvenations up, you're going to go ahead and want to cast Healing Touch, and it will refresh your rejuvenations. But with that, keeping in mind, when you're healing yourself or something like that, and you want to keep your life blooms on your main target, so let's say the DPS, enemy DPS is on your DPS, and you're still like half health for whatever reason, and you want to top yourself off. When you already have 2 rejuvenations on your guy, oh my gosh, Savix is whispering me. Doing some recording. Say hi to the recording. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, I got off track. Again, the Healing Touch Spec build that you're going to run is this right here. Abundance. And when you use Displacer Beast, go ahead and make sure you blink behind a pillar, so a corner. So here's the pillar, DPS is on you, like say it's a DK. You want to go ahead and use your blinks only, not only, but try to make sure you use blinks only for this, is blink around corners and go around the corner and be able to top yourself off. Easy peasy. And this is one of the best ways to survive against melee. Melee are dominating in 2s especially, so doing that little tip that I just gave you is going to be huge, absolutely huge. That's what separates a lot of players actually from novice to pros and stuff like that. Alright, second spec you're going to want to go is Guardian Infinity. You could, fool around with Feral Affinity if you feel like your team doesn't pump enough damage, but I really wouldn't recommend it. If anything, I would rather go for clones than try to do damage, if anything at all. But try not to go for too many clones in 2s. You can clone, but it's really scary. If you're in a bad spot, the enemy team still has CDs up, and you're trying to force a clone, you're probably going to die. You really are. So it's probably best to go for clones if a team has already popped their cooldowns. You know, you don't have to worry about too many kicks, stuff like that. It's very situational. Again, that's probably for another video. Just all I'm saying is don't worry about clones too much. If you worry about clones too much, you'll get yourself killed or your teammate. For the second one, I run Mighty Bash. Mighty Bash is probably the best. Mass entanglement. The enemy healer can just dispel that easy peasy. Typhoon. Why? And I don't see any use of it, to be honest. And for the second one, Cultivation is always going to be right here. Sometimes I see people running Incarnation, Tree of Life. That's Garbo. Do not do that. You can actually die. A lot of people run this because they're afraid of the melee tunneling them, and they want to be able to out-heal it. You actually can't out-heal a melee. If the dampening is enough, you cannot out-heal a melee on you with running Incarnation. You can't take that damage. Your best bet is to get away and then heal. Get peels off of that DPS heal. So this is a no-go talent. This is a no-no. And the second last one, Germination, is obviously going to be better than anything else. And then for the very last, Stone Bark, for obvious reasons, increases your healing, reduces the cooldown of Iron Bark. This is absolutely amazing. Now for the PP talents, let me go ahead and change this for the Healing Touch spec. Nourish, again, Nourish in abundance is what makes Healing Touch spec build Healing Touch spec. You wouldn't be able to work without it. Again, it's just one of those things that's very important for this build to work. Now, this one could be situational. It could be all three of these, honestly. But if you're facing something like a rogue where you need to have a trinket on demand for the blinds and stuff like that, I would highly recommend Goliath's Medallion most of the time. This is default. Again, all this stuff that you see is default. For the second row, running the Healing Touch spec build, you're going to want to run Defender of the Weak. You do not want to run Vim. You're already a big enough target to go towards anyways. So basically, this is going to be like useless if they do go you. You need some kind of survivability, which makes Defender of the Weak of your survivability. Plus, it actually increases your haste, so it makes the Healing Touch spec build even work even better because, you know, you're getting faster healing touches. And for the third row, this one is actually situational. If you're facing any melee, you're going to want to run Thorns. Thorns is huge because, again, when dampening starting to stack up, 5% of a attack of someone's health is huge. This will save you. This can act as a deterrent and also a aggressive thing. So if the enemy DPS, let's say it's Assassination Rogue, he pops Vendetta on your DPS, you can go ahead and pop Thorns onto that target because he's already dedicating to your DPS. So he wants him no matter what. So if you put this on, this is going to do a lot of damage. This could probably do like 50% of his health. Legitimately. Maybe even more. I don't know how many times it can proc, but it does a lot of damage. And for the fourth row, you want to run Cyclone. Cyclone's probably the best. You know, control the DPS, control the healer in very situational points. And for the second to last row, you're going to want to run Nourish again. This is what makes Healing Touch, Healing Touch. And for this one, I personally think Focus Growth is going to be the best. You could go another growth, but that's up to you. I wouldn't recommend it. Some people might like it. It's, you know, do whatever fits your play style. I wouldn't say like you have to run this, you have to run this. Anything could work, but you know, keep in mind when you do run this, it's going to be mana. It's not going to be the best mana efficient ability. Definitely not this. This is the one thing I'll be like, don't fucking go this. This is horrible. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to go you will go and it doesn't even do that much healing. Don't do that one. So again, Focus Growth is the one I take. So this is the Healing Touch spec build right here. This is the default. This is best in 2s, and even in 3s sometimes you can run it against like spellcasters or something like that. Now let me show you the last default build. That's, you know, I'm just gonna call it default build. Basically all it is bam, bam. That is the default build. This is the normal build. Again, it's really mana efficient. It's really good. I wouldn't recommend running this build in 2s just compared, you know, just Healing Touch spec build is really, really, really strong in 2s. So this is it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide. I hope it's helped you out. And if so, if you push rating, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you guys have an awesome day, awesome night, whatever it is. Get out there and pwn some nubs.